Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So, here, this is a matchup that I kind of suck at, so I've tried this a few times, and amazingly, I keep getting matched up against the same guy whenever I decide to try this, which is very amusing. And it turns out he watches my channel, so yeah, I decided to put this up. It's a fun match, so, and also I am not using the best build for this at all. So it's Wood Elves against High Elves. And so here you can see I've got my usual, you know, Wild Riders, Sisters of the Thorn going on. In the front I've got some Dryads. I quite like having some Dryads a little bit further forward. You know, they can soak up some arrows. They're not very good at soaking up arrows, but it's nice to just have some fodder, to be honest. And their magic attacks mean they, you know, there's a lot of Phoenix Guard and things like that. Their magic attacks will help get through that physical resist, though they won't really match up well against them. So it's a bit of an experiment, but we'll see. Also, got two Azrai Spears. These guys are great for dealing with cavalry, so these guys will be really good for, you know, fighting off Dragon Princes and things like that. And then I've got some War Dancers in the middle, so the War Dancers will match up very well against High Elf Spearmen, but they've got to watch out for arrow fire, and that is the big curse of this matchup. The High Elves just do better ranged than the Wood Elves. They just trade much better because basically they got Loathe and Sea Guard, so they got shields and spears, right? So you can't shut them down very easily with cavalry because they got spears, and you can't shut them down very well with ranged because, you know, they got the shields. So it just makes it very tough to deal with. So well, for the Wood Elves anyway. So Branch Wraith as well. So usual, you know, nice sturdy spellcaster. Get, you know, Earth Blood, and I've got some Shadow magic in there as well. I've got Orion, who just refuses to die, which is always good, you know. So he'll do really well. And so the High Elf player, very cool army this. So he's got some Illyrian Reavers on the sides. He doesn't need, you know, he just wants some lighter cavalry because these guys will do really well at sort of rear charging and sort of chasing down sort of, you know, Deepwood Scouts, stuff like that. You want that speed, so he's gone for the speed. Also, he's got a Noble and an Eagle, both, you know, with eagles. Well, the Eagle obviously has an eagle. He's an eagle. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so two eagles, one has a Noble on it. There we go. And he's got another eagle in the back in reserve. So this really good goon squad for sort of, you know, just harassing my back line. I didn't really bring a back line though, so you know, we'll see. But you know, with the good charges, nice light infantry, these guys should do quite well against the War Dancers, which is interesting. So also he's got a load of White Lions to trace. I find these guys aren't the most cost-effective things in the world, but they seem to perform pretty well against a lot of Wood Elf infantry, and I think it's because they got that 90 armor. It makes them quite formidable. Also, if I brought like Treekin and things, these guys would help chop them down. So that definitely helps. Also, you see, Loathe and Sea Guard, because of course he does. So that's very upsetting. He's also got some more Illyrian Reavers, and he's got some Spearmen in the back. And they're led by Teclis. So Teclis will be able to net things down, make it even easier to catch all my squishy units or hold them in place while they get shot at. So very formidable, very scary. So let's speed things up and see how it goes. So straight away, my Dryads are soaking up some of this damage. Rather them than the War Dancers, honestly. But you see his front, you know, his back line, well, which is his front line, they're moving forwards. So, you know, now I already can't get to the Loathe and Sea Guard with my infantry, but you wouldn't expect to get a hold of them early anyway. So in the back here, I've got my War Dancers trying to help screen out the cavalry here. He's got his sort of a bit of a goon squad here. So he's got three eagles, one with a Noble. And they're going to come in and try and snipe out my Branch Wraith early, which is very wise. So it comes in with a Flock of Doom and then a net. So this is tough for me, because Orion can't help this fight. So the Branch Wraith, I'm going to give him an Earth Blood to basically just keep his health up a bit longer. Hopefully he'll be able to hold out. I'm coming in with the Wild Riders. They have to wait though, because they'll just get netted otherwise. Over on this side, the Dryads are getting absolutely ruined. My Wild Riders and the Sisters of Thorn over here did some great damage to the White Lions, but now the Spearmen are coming in, so I have to back up. I've got some War Dancers in here trying to deal with the Illyrian Reavers, so it's good pick for them. You know, good spot. Unfortunately here, you can see my Branch Wraith has broken, I believe. Yes, he has broken. He's a bit sandwiched in there. So I'm trying to charge in with my Wild Riders, deal with these Eagles, but of course he's just got so much sustained, you know, sort of ranged here. So anything that he hits in here will do a ton of damage. Another Flock of Doom comes in as well, because I've got a big blob. That is going to hurt a lot. All of my guys are very squishy. Teclis, I think, is great for this matchup. Just those nets really stop you being able to be, you know, maneuverable, which is something you need as the Wood Elves. And yeah, he can do a ton of damage just spamming Flock of Doom. Because yeah, not big health pools, you know, on the Wood Elves. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of damage with the Flock of Doom. So here, I'm trying to just hit them with what I can. do a bit of damage, but you see my Azrai Spears here, they've been taken out, which is a real shame. I really need them to deal with these eagles and all this cavalry. He's got infantry supporting. There's a lot going on right here. So Orion, he's fighting this noble. Luckily, the noble on an eagle, I believe, yes, he loses his anti-large bonus. So that's really good for me. You can see, though, my Wild Riders are being chased off. I'm bringing Dryads back in, trying to deal with these guys. But things are not looking good, honestly. Things are not looking great. I've got some Azrai Spears fighting their Loathen Sea Guard. The Azrai Spears, this obviously isn't their best matchup. It'd be better if it's the normal War Dancers. But I needed to shut these guys down, and the Azrai Spears will be able to do that. But this is not the most cost-effective thing in the world. I really needed these guys on cavalry or something, but I just had to stop these guys shooting at me. So you see Wild Riders, still quite high unit models, but they're very injured. So ideally I need to heal them, but he's been chasing off my Branch Wraith. So here I do get my Sister Thorn back. They got absolutely decimated. So over here, luckily I've got Orion fighting Teclis. I'll be able to do some good damage to him. But there's a couple of eagles in here, which, actually no, there's an eagle in here. So I charge in, try and sandwich this guy in, but more ranged fire. So I'm trying to get my Dryads on him. And here, finally got rid of these White Lions. I've got some more War Dancers coming in, which is great. So I've got 2 units of War Dancers that are able to come in, as well as some Dryads. And I get a heal in here, I believe. Oh no, I've used Shield of Thorns in here to try and bolster their damage. Unfortunately, the Wild Riders are out. They just can't hold up against this. I've got more Wild Riders here. They've got completely sandwiched. I was completely out, you know, maneuvered here. Which is a real shame, and now he's got all of his big guys fighting Orion. But Orion is an absolute powerhouse. He's going to have to work overtime to deal with Orion, because yeah, as soon as Cloak of Isha procs, that's going to be massive. So here, I get a nice Pendulum, and that does actually do pretty well, you know, it manages to clear off the White Lions, and it does a lot of damage to the Spearmen and these other White Lions. So here, I get a nice Bombard on top of them. So that again is going to help me clear out this infantry, and it's going to free up Orion to do some damage. So I also use the Scroll of Shielding on him, just so he can negate even more damage, because although he can heal faster than can hurt him, I don't want him hitting his healing cap yet. I need him for, you know, I need him for the long haul in this matchup. So, yep, so I managed to do good damage to their infantry here. And these Loathen Sea Guard, they're finally out, but he gets a very good fiery complication here. It does actually... Oh no, it scrapes a couple of units. Unfortunately here, the Illyrian Reavers, they're going to do well against the War Dancers, and they've shattered. So, real shame there. I still got my Sister Thorn. I think they've still got some buffs, which is good. But here again, Orion is just under so much sustained combat here. So I'm trying to deal with these guys and the Spearmen. So I send my War Dancers over on the Loathen Sea Guard with Azrai Spears. Not the best matchup, but my War Dancers were able to wrap up these Spearmen very quickly. I've used the Curse of Anra here on them as well. I believe that's hit these guys. Yep. And I used Melkoths on the Illyrian Reavers. So finally the Noble is gone. I've still got my Branch Wraith, which is great. Use Horn of the Wild Hunt so these guys can get a nice good charge bonus. And hopefully I'll be able to shut down these Loathen Sea Guard. But seriously, with that, yeah, 61 melee defense. That's just insane, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. So I'm trying to deal with these guys. I charge Sister Thorn in the back, use Shield of Thorns to try and get these guys some more value. Orion's coming in here to help. Unfortunately, that does leave my Branch Wraith open, which is a real shame. Another Flock of Doom comes in on my guys, and they're absolutely knackered right now. So, very tough. So Orion is doing his best here to hang on, but he has just managed to clip my wings everywhere. Now, I am just down to Orion, and so I'll use one last Bombard ability. I wanted to use my other one, but yeah, as you can see, I don't have anything else, and there's still a bug where if you have one unit left, your HUD disappears, and that means you can't use any of the abilities. Luckily, with spells, you can use Alt, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and that will do a spell. I'm not sure about doing abilities that are on this side, though, and I only found that out the other day. Yeah, Darv told me. Darv plays, you know, he does all those testing videos and replays. Good dude. Played him a few times. Anyway, yeah, he told me that, and it was a lot of help in another game I played. But yeah, here would have been great. Hawk's Talon on top of this lot, that would have been fantastic. That might have just put, you know, his healing above the damage they were giving me. If I was able just to scatter the rest of these guys, because look at their health. So, you know, one Bombard, one of these guys would have broken from Terra, and then the rest would have broken. It would have just been down to Teclis, and I could have dueled him easily. So, that is so sad. It was such a close match. If I just had that ability, I might not have won, but I might have won. Right? That's how close it was. So, valiant defeat, but it's a tough matchup. Like, with this one, I think you've really got to play traditionally. Right, you know, bring the sort of Warhammer 1 Wood Elf build. Bring the Eternal Guard, you know, bring the Treekin, And I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the way you have to play it. So obviously bring some cavalry and things, you know, so you can keep keep moving. Possibly bring some archers. You know, just bring some sort of eternal guard, not some eternal guard, some glade guard with starfire shafts. So they can single out, you know, sort of tougher units. I think that definitely helps. It might be worth bringing the glady, so you can get the Prey of Anathrema on any like vital unit. Because of course, if there's dragons or anything like that, you just want to stop them, right, and then hit them. I think that's the way you want to play it. But I just really want the War Dancer build to work out. But Nelso, he's played very well twice. He beat me in the first game we played, which was actually a couple days earlier. It was just complete, you know, fluke that we bumped into each other twice. So, but yeah, it was a really fun one. And I really do like this army. I think this army's pretty damn good. I just love having all the eagles. It just gives you so much maneuverability. And honestly, they do great against the Wood Elves, because the Wood Elf units are pretty squishy. So, you know, if I brought a Spellweaver instead of the Branch Wraith, my Spellcaster would have been sniped out and just immediately assassinated from that initial engagement, and that would have cost me horribly. So, I really like that, just having something to snipe out. And also, if I brought a Glady on a Forest Dragon, the two Eagles and the Noble could catch them, you know, pretty well. So, yeah, I think it's interesting. It's definitely a cool one. So, Nelso, thanks for the game. It was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love playing it. And, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.